Well, hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday night, which means only one thing. NFL football season starts right now. Downstairs, my son is enjoying the Chiefs game. I don't know if he's enjoying it or not because I'm up here in the studio with you, Nick, and we are talking about Star Wars instead of the NFL. But you know, that's okay because most people who watch us anyway aren't watching the NFL. So,
Yeah.
necessarily. So, hey, how are you, Nick?
I'm doing fantastic, and I am not having my Thursday night appointment viewing with Taylor Swift's boyfriend. I am instead here, ready to chop it up about Star Wars. There's been a bunch of news this week. There is the Dragoncon trivia quiz that we're going to get to in a little bit,
Yes.
which we're both going to fail spectacularly at.
Oh, it's going to be
But
disgusting.
we love our friends and family that hang out with us so much that we're willing to fail spectacularly in front of them.
Exactly. And yeah, you know, so it's so funny that you say Taylor Swift's boyfriend. I've been, it's weird the world that we're living in now because like people, I saw this really stupid meme and it was like, we've missed all of you, and it's like all the different NFL stars, and then there's a picture of Taylor Swift and it's like, but not you. I'm like, dude, how has Taylor Swift hurt your freaking NFL viewing?
It's only gone up. In fact,
exactly.
I'm only in one actual fantasy football league this year. Usually I have two or three depending on the groups of friends. I'm in one this year. We had our draft on Tuesday night, which I actually didn't just auto draft the whole thing. I actually participated in it from the laziness of my couch. And I am all but certain that the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce effect totally played in because my starting quarterback and tight end are Mahomes and Kelce. And I mean, I just went for it. I
decided to make a good choice because
those aren't my Mothma picks. Let's be serious. Those aren't my Mothma picks.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that the Taylor halo certainly had an effect there, but I'm fine with it.
For sure. Well, hey, you know what? This is ATGLive, which is, we kind of think of this as sports radio for Star Wars fans. So thanks for joining us. Those of you who are with us in the chat on the YouTube, thank you so much. And if you're watching us on Twitter, I think I've learned that you can comment on the show if you're watching it on Twitter on your desktop, which I don't think anybody uses Twitter or X on their desktop, but you can. And if you want to, you can comment there or just come over to the YouTube channel and we'll be looking at your comments throughout the show. But Nick, we were talking about football. So let's talk a little bit about our fantasy sports ball. So since I didn't run it last week and I didn't make one for this week, I'm going to show the picks that we had from last week. As we went into this upcoming week, you got to see what the standings were. You got to see who picked what. Then I'm going to share the results, and then I'm going to share where we are in the standings, and we'll have a little conversation. So here's this past week. It was Sith. So let's see who picked who.
I feel like I gotta go to Sith Palpatine. I mean, like, that guy's lasted through, like, all three of, like, I kind of love, like, how campy he gets in, like, the, original trilogy, and also, like, how can you just not pick Palpatine?
Pete, he's tattooed on your body. Our friend Corey, the Buttercream Dream, says it in the video. He looks like the devil. It's Darth Maul. Like, that's got to be my Sith pick for sure.
I am going to go with Darth Vader to take both him and Anakin off the board. He could have gone in Pilot. He could have gone in Jedi. He could have gone in Imperial. But I have made him impossible to pick at this point. So Sith was this past week, and Nick, I thought it was going to be closer than it was. You're going to be disappointed when I show the results. This past week, it was Darth Vader
Look at that.
won
So
55%. Another win for me. Yeah.
Another win for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I am shocked that it's not as close, but I'm more shocked that Palpatine only got 11%.
Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be like 30s in all three categories, and it was going to be degrees of 30s getting us to that 100%. Like, this is a surprising one to me, and certainly no shade to Kelsey. Apparently, I've already dug myself a hole last week with Clinton talking smack that I maybe talked. No, that's fine. Bring it on. Yeah, she's going to judo chop me in the neck, and I'll deserve it. But I'm surprised that, and Marianne nails it exactly right. Somehow Palpatine lost. I'm surprised by this result. That's it. That's my biggest takeaway. I thought this might have had the potential to be the closest week out of all the weeks.
I thought so too. I thought it was going to be very close, but I'm very happy because take a look what this has done to the standings. Now, again, we go by points based on percentage. So the maximum points you get any week is 100 points. Yep. Nick, for the first 3 weeks, had the lead because of his great first week with Obi-Wan Kenobi for Jedi, but the tide has turned. I have moved into first place by 2 points. Boba Fett, and the tiebreaker I have 3-1. Listen, I think it's important to point out here as well that I think we didn't clarify for Kelsey that, hey, listen, this is going to be based on voting by the public. And while all of her picks are fantastic, they just haven't resonated. But this week, Nick, going into this week, we have
Smugglers.
And so I'll put a video together for that. But here's who you have to vote for. I think this one is going to be, you might get the win back this week. Kelsey selected Dr. Afra is a great call. I think there's going to be she might get second place this week because I think Dr. Afra is going to get her some points.
I mean, it's a big pick, and there's a lot of people that love Afra, but it's not, I don't know, it's not the most widely mainstream.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. You picked Lando Calrissian as a smuggler, and since Han Solo was off the board because she picked him first, so when Pilot comes, she's going to crush us. I picked Hondo Anaka. Nick, what's your prediction going into this week?
I forgot that, and I'm glad that you reminded me who everybody picked. I feel good about this week. I don't want to get overconfident. I am an Auburn fan. If you're a fan of SEC football, you understand that we are classic underdogs, even when we're projected to do well. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I feel good about this week and feel good about maybe being able to get back in the race, get another win to get closer to evening up to at least the tiebreaker category.
Yeah, I think I would say you probably have this week. So, and I don't want to give it up. But and there are some really exciting matches coming up in the near future. So that's our sports ball. Nick, let's do our toast. That song is like that clip's just like 1 second too short because I'm always dancing and it comes back.
That's right. And this is what I've noticed, and I know you noticed this too, but anybody that uses StreamYard, when we're not on screen, when a video's running, and we can see each other down at the bottom of the screen in the background when we're off camera, every single bumper that you play, whether it's the intro, whether it's the commercial sting, whether it's the thing for sports ball, every single time I can look down and you and I are both just bobbing our heads, doing the jamming thing out. So the DJ is doing a great job of selecting all the tunes for these video bumpers.
Absolutely. So,
but
Nick,
it is toast time.
Yeah, let's toast.
So it is toast time. If you remember correctly, last week on Thursday night, I was at Dragoncon. I was able to join you for the show from my hotel room.
Yep.
It was a fantastic experience. For anybody that didn't catch it last week, I work for a community blood center. And I've got the updated statistics. This is our 22nd year in a row that Life South Community Blood Centers does a blood drive at Dragoncon. We supply all local hospitals, true life-saving work. And over the course of the 4 days that we were at Dragoncon this year, we registered 3,900 blood donors. Over the course of 4 days, coming through just busy, got to work. I got to go downtown on Saturday and spend some recreational time at Dragoncon. I got to hang out with Brian and Holly Fry. I saw our friend Andy, and I saw Candace from Geeky Waffle, just a couple of other folks in passing. So it was a great experience. But here's the thing about Dragoncon, and if you've never been, I don't know how to describe it to you other than what a lot of people describe it as, nerdy gras, which literally 60,000 people in downtown Atlanta over 4 hotels, partying until all hours of the night in literally every costume, every fandom. If anybody can be a fan of it, it is represented at Dragoncon. Nice. It could be The Office. It could be Star Trek. It could be Star Wars. It could be Zelda. It could be Pokemon. You name it. It is there. Deep cuts, every deep cut you can think of. It's fascinating. It's endlessly fascinating. But it is, and you and I have had plenty of conversations about cosplay. It is a cosplay mecca. There are so many people dressed in, people plan their outfits. Alex and Molly Damon, we see their Twitter posts, planning out costumes for every single different day. One of the things that I noticed this year that I hadn't seen before there are people that will roam around with backpacks on and flags sticking out of them that say like cosplay medic or cosplay repair tech. And they're literally carrying like backpacks with tape and scissors and glue. And like they're there to help people because you're walking around in this convention all day and your costume may fall apart on you. And literally their role when they come to Dragoncon because they want to is just to be available to like help staple your shirt back together or whatever it is that you need.
That's cool.
So cosplay fascinates me. I don't think I can do it because I'm too picky and I wouldn't want to do it wrong and look like an idiot. I'm not in the right shape for most of the things I would want to cosplay. I have a beard and I'm not willing to shave it. So it would have to be like a stormtrooper where you can't see my face.
Or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, and that's the thing. If I had unlimited resources to spend, it would be Clone Wars, battle armor, General Kenobi with the shoulders and the forearms.
Yes.
That's the one I would want to do. That's what I would put my resources into. But I want to raise my toast tonight just to cosplayers in general, because it is endlessly fascinating. I think it's so cool. I admire it. There was and there's pictures of it floating around on Twitter. You can look it up. There's one called, it was the Badonka Gonk, and it was a Gonk droid, and it was with these, attractive legs with the, tights and the high heels walking around, and they were handing out little ribbons for your name badges, like everything you can think of. And it's so fun. And there's droids. That's awesome. A brilliant, I know this video went around, Hu Yang that somebody built that had like eyes and all. It's incredible. So I'm raising my toast tonight in my Cabe's Oasis glass to everybody at Dragoncon, everybody who does cosplay and puts so much effort into it. Thank you for doing that, because those of us that don't do it, we love to see it. We love to check it out.
Absolutely.
So cheers and happy Star Wars.
Happy Star Wars. Well, that's great. That was that is one of those things that I wish I had the skills and I think patience more than anything else to be able to.
I think next year, because I'll be there for work again. I think next year we just need to get you to Atlanta just to hang out for the weekend.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll do old Captain Rex if you do Kenobi. That actually would be pretty cool. All right,
that would be
fantastic.
Work toward that. Yep, we're gonna work on that.
We got to do that. I can do out of shape Rex. I can't do young.
Rebels Rex.
Right. I can do Rex on
Stormtrooper armor.
Yeah, and like complain that it's too tight because it would be. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we got a couple news stories to hit. And then when we're done with the news, Nick and I are going to fail miserably at the Dragoncon Star Wars quiz. So we'll be back in just 1 minute with more ATG Live.
What's up, my fellow Gen X Star Wars fam? My name is Chris Rhines from Broaxium. You may know me from ATG's Force Connect that I co-hosted with Pete and Nick. Now, I'm the owner and operator of Broaxium Outpost, an online shop for all your action figure and collectibles needs like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series and Vintage Collection, Transformers Studio Series, Star Wars action figures, Masters of the Universe, and much, much more, including Star Wars action. All right, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm just saying. Stop by and check out the store at www.proaxiumoutpost.com. Sign up to become a part of the Bounty Hunters Guild and stay updated on new pre-orders, sales, and exclusive Proaxium content. Find something you like? Use the promo code ATG5 for 5% off your first order. We have Star Wars figures, by the way.
Ah,
Well, every time that happens, every time he throws in that last little, we have Star Wars figures, makes me laugh out loud every time. Welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all the Star Wars fun, news, toasts, commentary. I don't even like the word discourse. We're throwing that one out. Banned. If this was a drive time radio show, we'd have a big loud bumper that said banned. We're not using the word discourse anymore. But it's Thursday night, it's Star Wars, and we're hanging out and having a bunch of fun. I am Nick Milkey. I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Pete Fletzer. Pete, it's time for some news because, like any other week, there's a good amount of Star Wars news. So why don't we get into it?
All right. Well, Nick, you are correct. We have a handful of stories tonight. Let's go through them. Let's start with our first one, and this is Ahsoka season 2 is going to begin filming in summer 2025. Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who stars as Sabine Wren in Ahsoka, confirmed at Dragoncon, where you just were, that filming for Ahsoka season 2 will begin in the summer of 2025. The announcement, shared via @Mando3 updates on social media, comes after months of anticipation following the show's renewal. Bordizzo also noted that filming will start after the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is currently in production and expected to complete principal photography in the coming months. Given this timeline, Ahsoka season 2 is projected to release no earlier than summer 2026. Big budget productions like this often debut a year after filming concludes. Fans are speculating that Lucasfilm may align the release of Ahsoka with the aftermath of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, set to hit theaters in May of 2026, to build on the momentum of Star Wars returning to the big screen. Questions surrounding the show's storyline, casting, and how it will address the passing of Ray Stevenson, who portrayed Baylan Skoll, are expected to be addressed closer to the production or perhaps as early as Star Wars Celebration in Japan next year. Nick, thoughts on this? And the point that I think is really interesting in that article, to me, is the timing and how it might relate to the Mando and Grogu movie.
So I find this fascinating, and I feel like this is one of our most concrete to this point recognitions that there is to be a Ahsoka season 2. Like I've talked about, the show certainly left as many open ends as anything else we've gotten that wasn't guaranteed, like Andor, we came in knowing there was going to be 2 seasons. So this feels like the most concrete there will be a season 2, because my theory kind of previously that was it's not promised. We're going to get the rest of these questions answered in the Mando and Grogu movie. What happened with Thrawn? How does Ahsoka get back? Or does she, Ezra Bridger can't just show up, hug Hera, and then we're done. Like there has to be something else happening. So this feels like the most concrete part of that. I am not going to be at all surprised if it is indeed connected to the movie.
Yeah.
It's, I'm fascinated by the Baylan Skoll question. I really do think that that's a character worth recasting. There's some great choices out there. I can't off the top of my head come up with who they were, although I can see one guy's face in my head and I can't remember his name. But I do want to see it. Of course, I want to see more Ahsoka because that's one of my favorite characters. I did enjoy the show. But it also is going to kind of tag into, I think, what the next news story is too. Yeah. The delay in the production time is going to play into some of the new strategies that I think Disney is working on as relates to TV.
Yeah. And we'll hit that in a second. But I think the one thing, the one question that I have, and I think it's actually kind of an interesting floater, is where Ahsoka 2 season 2 is going to fit into the Mando and Grogu movie. I think it would be a mistake to put that movie in between Ahsoka season 1 and season 2. And I don't necessarily mean that it will be, I think that you could see it lead into it, sort of like the way Rebels led into The Force Awakens. Even though they weren't connected stories, they sort of drove into it. I think there's so much that was left open-ended. And for those that may not have watched the Ahsoka season 1, you're trying to get a broader audience into the movie theaters. It needs to just be a Star Wars movie. So you can't you can't rely on, oh yeah, these guys took the space whales to another galaxy. I mean, that has to be kind of wrapped up before we get Mando and Grogu, if those characters are going to be in it. There's no guarantee they will be. I don't think we've heard anything to make us believe that Sabine
we haven't.
will be in it. So,
and what are the release dates? Obviously, if the show's not going to film till next summer, what's the movie release date? Do you remember?
May 22nd, 2026. Okay, so that's
still not enough production time, because they're going to finish. That movie's coming out before the show is. I think so. It has to be. I think the movie ends up having to be a standalone adventure of some sort, with maybe like an Easter egg tease for people who are going to end up watching Ahsoka season 2.
Maybe even an MCU style kind of
post credits,
post-credits,
something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, we do have other stories, and this one is actually directly related. Star Wars is cutting back on live action output. Star Wars is set to reduce its live action TV output starting in 2025, according to insider Daniel Rickman. We seem to quote him quite regularly on the show. The franchise, which has released an average of 2 live action streaming series per year on Disney Plus since 2019, plans to scale back to 1 series annually. Richmond noted that while several series remain in development at Lucasfilm, the decision aligns with Disney's broader cost-cutting measures. Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger confirmed in July of 23 that Disney would be spending less on what they make and making less as part of its cost containment strategy. Shows like The Acolyte, which reportedly cost about $180 million to produce, are cited as examples of high production costs that aren't yielding the financial returns that Disney needs or expects. This shift in focus comes as Star Wars prepares for a theatrical comeback with The Mandalorian and Grogu, scheduled for release May 2026, followed by 2 untitled films in December 26 and December 27. The Star Wars move from streaming to theaters reflects Disney's emphasis on proven box office success. You know, it's really interesting. This came out. I literally had just put out a video, sort of a video essay about this is what they need to do. They slow this down. Nick, you've said it on the show 100 times.
I want to miss Star Wars. That's
exactly.
It. Give me time to miss it.
And I think really, for better or worse, and this is not an Acolyte bashing, and this is not an Acolyte conversation per se, but man, that was a big risk, and they can't. That's just not going to work anymore. Nick, what are your thoughts on this strategy?
I'm on board for the strategy. I've been on record as saying it multiple times. Give me some time to miss Star Wars. A show a year is great. If we get to make the second one animation, you know, there's other ways that we can do some of this. The thing that's interesting, and I read this story earlier today when we were preparing for the show, but it didn't click until you just read it again. Mando movie in May, the other movie, which is likely the Rey movie in December, makes me nervous. 2 movies in a year. When's the last time we saw that, and how did that turn out? We had Solo and Rise of Skywalker, which is another, it's a fine line to walk. Maybe the reduction in TV makes room for 2 big movies to come out in a year. I don't know. I don't want to, you know, poo-poo on it before it's, you know, anything's gotten here. But I'm more than glad for creators to take their time. I'm ready for them to put some effort to it. Brian says it right here in the chat. He got the word wrong, but he says, as long as the quality and length of shows is better, I'm fine with it.
No, maybe he's talking about shoes. He might be talking about shoes.
He wants longer shoes. He wants clown shoes. You know, but yeah, let the creators cook a little bit. Let them, you know, take some time. Let them not feel like it's a rush. And $180 million is a lot to spend on any TV show, whether it's The Acolyte, whether it's Game of Thrones, on a movie. That's movie money. And so, yeah, but here's the other thing too. This isn't only Star Wars. They're doing this with Marvel too. Let's not get outside of that fact that this isn't a Star Wars punishment or anything. This is Disney saying, we got ahead of ourselves. We had a new streaming platform. Then you have to launch new things big up top so that they stick and so that they work. We've had Disney Plus now for what, 5 years, 6 years? Now you've got to settle into it and go, how do we make this long-term sustainable?
Well, and again, one of the things that I said in the video is that I don't think there's any evidence that shows that there's a dramatic increase in subscribers when a new Star Wars or a new MCU show drops. So take your time, make it so that I want to keep my subscription. and make the shows. And I'll say one thing which could drag us out, but I'll say it real quick because I think it's an important comment. A couple people on Twitter said it when I posted my video as well, is will this mean that we're going to get 12 episode shows or 8 episodes that are an hour each? I hope that means that they're going to put more effort, more time into it, and not follow this sort of short format. So great. Okay, well, we have actually a third story this week, and that is that Ubisoft is addressing some of the Outlaws issues. In a recent interview with Games Radar, Star Wars Outlaws directors Julian Garrity and Matthias Carlson, I hope I didn't screw up their names, responded to the game's lukewarm reception and shared their plans for future content. The game, which released last week, has garnered mixed reviews, with some critics citing that it's impressive presentation-wise, but criticize its action and stealth mechanics. Garrity admitted to feeling a little disappointed by the game's Metacritic score, but emphasized that player feedback remains positive. He acknowledged issues with the game's stealth sections, particularly a mission in a planet called Morgana that players found overly punishing. He said, "We are working on improvements, including a patch in the next 10 days. Carlson defended the inclusion of stealth elements, which he believes enhances the scoundrel fantasy and adds a variety to the quests. He assured that the team is open to adjusting these mechanics, though, based on player feedback. Looking ahead, Garrity hinted at an exciting content update, including story packs featuring Lando Calrissian and Hondo Ohnaka. Despite the current criticism, the developers remain committed to refining the game and ensuring it offers long-term enjoyment. Ubisoft has faced challenges recently with the game's performance actually affecting stock prices." Nick, I know you haven't played this game because maybe part of the problem is that it's only available on PS5 and Xbox.
That's 100%.
And your system.
That's 100% the problem.
But I will say, I was looking forward to this game. So much so that I paid for the early access. Why I spent an extra $40, I still don't know. Because literally I got early access and was only able to play it a day earlier. So I'm an idiot. But the reality is I'm not sucked into this game like I was for Jedi Fallen Order. And I have to say, and we've referenced this before, Lucasfilm Games went crazy bringing people out there to California to play the game, to give them advanced looks. And surprisingly, all those guys love the game. Right. They love what they're seeing. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. It's a lot of fun. My son is enjoying it. But it just doesn't have that power that some of the other games did.
So you're 100% right. I haven't played this game yet because I have a PlayStation 4 because I'm 100 years old. But there's still hope because at some point, I believe it's even this month, Jedi Survivor is going to be finally ported to PlayStation 4. So I'm going to get to finally play that, even though I've watched all the cutscenes. I watched producer Lloyd played Outlaws on Twitch for a little bit the other day. I watched that for just a little bit. This story interested me mostly because the things that were in this news story I was not at all aware of. One, I haven't played the game, but everything I have seen online has been very glowing and positive. Yeah. It was a lot of let's punch pikes. Everybody's having fun with the photo mode. I was with Brian and Holly Fry in Atlanta this weekend, and Holly talked about how she spent an hour just taking pictures of Rhodians. Like, there's a lot of positivity and love coming out of this, which I think is a great thing. So I wasn't aware that there were these kind of issues. Yep. And it kind of reminds me of, I think it was the launch of Battlefront 2, where there were all the issues early on with like the pay to play modes and all the extra things. Yeah. I think the thing that Ubisoft has going for them that who did Battlefront 2? DICE, whoever did that.
EA DICE, yep.
They did step up and go, yeah, this isn't great. Let's see what we can do to fix it. They're not just going, well, too bad you bought the game. We have your money. It's your problem now. Right. There does seem to be attention being paid to, we want to help fix this experience. We want to help with it. And I love a company that's going to listen to its customers and its consumers and say, hey, we're not just doing this for the money. We do want you to enjoy it.
Yep. I will say, and I love that too. And I think that's really great. And a lot of game companies, I mean, just recently Bethesda has been talking about Starfield, which I played, and the support that they're giving to that. But I feel like this game might be suffering a little bit from acolyte syndrome in that the people who love it, let's admit it, it's us nerds. It's the people who are so in the tank for Star Wars, and the audience, I mean, the Metacritic scores, those don't come from just generic Star Wars fans. So,
all right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
As somebody who played it and as somebody who's an age like I am and has a different relationship to video games than Jack does.
Yeah.
I watched Lloyd play this game. Lloyd's much younger than us also. I watched him play for 20, 25 minutes the other night on Twitch.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest. Watching him play, I thought, this feels complicated. I feel like I'm going to get irritated quickly because there's a lot of check this out, check that out, collect this, collect that. Like, does that track? What was your experience like as a Gen X game player?
Yeah, what I liked a lot about the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games is it's a lot of action. It's a lot of swinging your lightsaber. It's shooting guys. It's doing that thing. This is a sneak around game. This is really like an Assassin's Creed kind of game. So it's not for everybody. And I think that might be part of the problem is I might not have the attention span for it. So,
well, when I read in that news story, the part about a particular area where the stealth thing was extra hard.
Yeah.
I just went like, I quit one of the Horizon games because I couldn't get past some bow and arrow part. I was like, you know what? I'm irritated. I can't take this. I'm out.
I ain't got time for this. Yeah.
That's honestly, what's the one? Knights of the Old Republic. I've only ever played it on the mobile iOS version, which I know is the wrong way to do it. But I got to the part on Dantooine with like the alien dogs that attack you, and I was like, screw it, I'm out. I can't play this game anymore.
Too much work. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. It's not that I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to play it. It's not something I've been playing NFL 25 more than I've been playing this game. So that's, that kind of tells you where it's at. All right. We got one last news story, and then we're going to take the Dragon contest and just be absolutely horrible at it. All right. So a Twitter campaign surfaced yesterday calling for the deplatforming and demonetization of several prominent YouTube channels. The campaign alleges that these channels have incited racial attacks against actors and fans of the Star Wars franchise. The campaign, which includes 2 images that detail the accusations, highlight recent comments by actor Amanda Stenberg. Stenberg, who stars in The Acolyte, voiced her frustration on Instagram recently about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol, which we talked about, she has faced since joining the Star Wars universe. This situation echoes past controversies, notably when Milo Yiannopoulos targeted Leslie Jones during her time with Ghostbusters. The campaign's call to action points out that these YouTubers have previously encouraged harassment of Vietnamese American actress Kelly Tran and is now targeting Stenberg. The creators of the campaign, including many prominent Star Wars content creators, demand that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against, quote, prolonged insults and the incitement of harassment. Despite these efforts, YouTube responded by confirming today that the content in question does not violate their policies and will remain active. The community's push for action underscores growing concern over how hate-driven content is handled on YouTube, with many questioning the platform's role in regulating this harmful behavior. Nick, I'm going to throw it to you first. I know I got opinions on this.
We've been in this fan. Was it Saw Gerrera said, or no? What Cassian says. I've been in this since I was 6 years old. I've been in Star Wars since I was, a fetus before I was born. Social media, the last 7 or 8 years, being a podcaster, seeing these. The saddest part of all of this, and I hate that I have to say this out loud, is that none of this is surprising. The behavior from these bad actors that do these things, not the actors in the shows, these YouTube channels, these social media people who have cultivated a following. And unfortunately, and it's pretty easy to draw a line, it draws directly to the political controversies and divides we see in this country. It's not just Star Wars. It's in Lord of the Rings. It's in Marvel. Like, these are bigger societal issues, but we have a platform like YouTube which gives them a voice, and because there are dollar bills behind it, the same way the Acolyte didn't get renewed. It didn't get renewed because it was bad. It got renewed because it was too expensive. Behind all of this are corporate dollar bills, which is very frustrating because there are real people, both social media on the other side of it actors, Kelly Marie Tran, I get her name from Obi-Wan.
Moses Ingram. Yeah.
Moses Ingram. Like all these actors, all these people who are dealing with these things, they're out there and they're having to deal with it because these people get a platform and they get a voice, and they don't deserve that voice. And it would be amazing, and it would do so much for the fandom if that voice was taken away from them. But money speaks, and it's not going to happen. And I hate that.
And honestly, so here's the weird part about it. I mean, you guys, everybody who listens and follows me on Twitter and sees the things that I post know that I do not abide by any of this sort of bigotry and racism, and when it attacks people, it is not acceptable at all. But I did the math today, Nick, and I posted it up on Twitter. The 3 YouTubers that are mentioned in the specifics of the tweets, between the 3 of them, they make about, individually, not for YouTube, but they probably bring in about $500,000 total across all 3 channels. $500,000, which means that YouTube, which gets 45% of all of the revenue, is probably making about $400,000 just from these 3. $400,000 a year. Now, again, in YouTube money, $400,000 a year is nothing. But if they deplatform them, if they demonetize them, they lose that $400,000. What they also start to lose is then they have to do it across all the different platforms. And I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm sure it is very high that the most toxic and negative sides of not just fandom, commentary is what's making YouTube the most money, and they cannot take a stand from a business perspective. They're not in a position to be able to stop that unless they can point directly to somebody saying attack this person. Other than that, it's just ugly, horrible people saying ugly, horrible things, and it's unfortunate. But that's the dollars rule the day, as you just said. So
it's unfortunate, and as we've said many times, we loudly denounce bigotry of any kind. That's not something that we're a part of here. We want to be a part of those voices. We tweeted the same things that everybody else did, trying to get YouTube's attention, but we all got responses back that said, "Thanks so much. Please report it to this link," and we've reported it to that link. And then we see today responses that come back that say, "Yeah, thanks for your input, but they're fine. It's going to stay up."
Yep, check that out.
It's disheartening, but it's again the power of the dollar.
It's the power of the dollar, and it's where we are right now as a fandom. And I think I think we need to find creative ways to work through it. I mean, honestly, there are literally thousands of great YouTube shows that don't focus on the negativity. And if you are not into those toxic sites, come over to the good shows. Come over to the people who are talking positive. And
guess what? The ones that get accused the most of being shills, not even getting any money. There's no money coming into this thing. We do this every week because we want to, and our spouses go, "Really? Again this week?
You're still doing this?
We're
really?
here. We're here because it's fun and we like hanging out."
Absolutely. Well, that's it for the news this week. Quite a bit of news. We'll be back in 1 minute, and when we come back, we are going to possibly revoke our Star Wars fan cards.
Our own fan cards.
We're going to do it to ourselves. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back with ATGLive, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. Normally at this point in the show, we talk to a guest, but this week we're eschewing a guest. I guess I just used the word eschew on a
you did.
Probably using it incorrectly, but in favor of taking the Dragoncon entry test to become part of it. Now, DragonCon, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but the DragonCon Star Wars Trivia Championship is like the creme de la creme of Star Wars trivia. Like, people literally travel to go to that, right?
Correct. They and we've had, Alex Damon has won this competition multiple times.
Yep.
What's Marie's net? Somebody else. I saw a picture of it with Alex, handing over the trophy or the whatever. There's a new somebody, Marie, and I can't think of Marie's last name. Marie has won it in years past. She's been on with us. She actually is a fellow Alabama resident. So you know what? People in Alabama know things about Star Wars. I'm not one of them. I'm about to fail spectacularly at this, but we're going to go through it tonight, and we're going to kind of see, how Pete and I do, how we stack up against each other. I just put the link for this in the chat.
Oh, nice.
If you want to play along at home, hit that link. It's a Google form, a Google Doc. You can just go through. It's multiple choice. But Pete, we also are going to put a little something on the table, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we are.
For anybody who is not been with us through, I don't know, the last 8-10 weeks, whatever it is, we have a bet going on between my Atlanta Braves, Pete's Philadelphia Phillies, and whoever finishes the season the most games ahead of the other is worth $2 per game. If the season ended today at 7 games, the Phillies are up. I would owe Pete a $14 Star Wars collectible.
I just had to check.
Shut up, Pete, because the Braves lost to the Rockies tonight, which is not helpful. I just saw that pop up on my phone. So I would owe Pete a $16 Star Wars collectible of the loser's choosing, my choosing. But we did have a trivia night several weeks back, hosted by our friend Ardo Cal from ESPN. And in that, there was a $20 bet on the table that would go to that total. So really, if it ended today, Pete would owe me a $4 collectible because I won.
Right.
But we decided tonight for this DragonCon quiz, we're calling it double or nothing, which is essentially what it is. We're putting that $20 back on the table. If I get more right than Pete tonight, I'll be up 40. If he gets it right, we're back to 0. We're back to whatever the baseball score is. So we're just going to go through this quiz. We're going to both take it. Pete's got his shared up on the screen. We did check to make sure the questions are the same. They're in the same order. So we're going to go through it. We're going to read them out. We're going to comment on the things that we think are ridiculous because we don't know the answers. But I'm going to mostly look at my computer and not the camera so that I'm not looking at Pete's answers. But
yes,
right off the bat, what property is Cortosis primarily known for? We know this one. The Acolyte was just on. I know what that answer is. I did see yours. It does deactivate lightsaber blades.
Yes.
Are we going to every other this? How are we going to do these questions?
I don't know. I'll read this next one. Which planet was home to the? So the thing to keep in mind is I don't know what a good score is for this. So I wonder.
50 questions.
There's 50 questions.
And what is the qualifying? There's a threshold for qualifying that may be like 35.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can look that up real quick.
Yeah. So the question is
DragonCon qualifier. Well, this is 2021. The average score was 16.6, 26 out of 50 qualified.
26 is what qualified last time.
In 2021. 27 correct answers were the threshold to qualify for the finals. That was when was that? That was last year. So last year it took 27 of 50 to qualify for the finals.
Okay. So if we suck, it's all in good fun.
We may be okay to suck.
All right. So the next question, this seems to come from the Acolyte. Which planet was home to the Jedi Temple where Master Torben lived in silent meditation until 132 BBY? I'm putting my answer in and going by that. Okay.
And this is, we're going to keep this moving. We don't want to take up all night.
Yes.
There's nothing more interesting than watching a couple of dudes read questions. First of all, Brian Fennessy is flexing. I got 35 when I took it. Brian, I'm going to phone a friend for Brian if I need to. Next question. What did the Nihil call the barrier they deployed to keep Republic ships out of the territory they occupied? Neither one of us know crap about the High Republic. So
I'm just taking a guess. There we go.
Estimation zone. So not mine.
Okay. Which 3 great mothers of the Night Sisters allied with Grand Admiral Thrawn to escape from extragalactic exile. The questions are even hard to read. Oh my god!
Exactly.
How am I going to know what?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Some of these is just, take your best guess and go with the
I'm going to
force.
guess with that one. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Next up, we have which rebel terrorist cell did Inferno Squad infiltrate and destroy during the Galactic Civil War?
Okay. I'm taking a chance on that one.
Yeah. Inferno Squad was a part of Battlefront 2 in that storyline. I don't know the answer to this, but best guesses.
Best guesses. Follow the force. Stretch out with your feelings. Who intentionally crashed Moff Gideon's former cruiser into the Imperial base on Mandalore, killing Gideon and liberating the planet?
Okay. Got you on that one.
All right. I think I got that one.
Who was the chief of cyborg operations at Jabba's palace as of 4 ABY? I have a very specific image and visual in my mind.
I think I might have gotten that one right. I hope
that was a toss-up one. It's one of the two.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. because we're at that age where like we know enough Star Wars. We've had Star Wars in our life. It's like trying to remember what street did my grandmother live on? Was it
exactly?
I think
I know this name,
but I don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Like proximity memory.
Here we go. This is why I don't stand a chance. What was the primary objective of the 104th Wolfpack Battalion's mission to Aleen in 20 BBY? So 20 BBY. Okay, so that's 20 years before A New Hope. So
I don't have all I have is a guess.
I'm just guessing also. Okay.
Ooh, next, tailing right along that. What sector of the galaxy is Iriadu located in? Seswana sector, Anoat sector. I know that because of Empire Strikes Back. I don't think that's it. Bright Jewel or Maldrude. God, I don't know any of those. So we're going to pick that one and see what happens.
God. All right. Which Lucre Hulk class core ship crashed on Kobo and was repurposed as a base for the Bedlam Raiders? These are just made up words.
This would be helpful if I knew who the hell the Bedlam Raiders were, but you know what?
It would be. But at least I know what a Lucre Hulk is. So
that's right. Isn't that the circular one from Phantom Menace? Isn't that what that is?
Yes, sir.
The droid control, whatever.
Yep.
Which racer was flown by Kazuto Xiono as a part of Team Colossus during the First Order Resistance War? I think I know, but I don't really, because you know what I didn't watch a lot of? Resistance. And I talk about it too much.
Okay, the next question is, which planet is the location of the Industrial Automaton Factory and therefore R2-D2's homeworld? Like, I feel like I should know it, but I don't really know if I do, so I'm going to take a risk and just go with that.
Same. I mean, I want it to be the obvious answer, but I don't think it is.
See, the only reason I went with the obvious answer is because when they invented R2, there were only like 6 planets that we knew about.
That's right. They had to discover the rest yet. Who created the super weapon located in the Sith Temple on Malachor, which caused the Great Scourge of Malachor and was subsequently destroyed by Ezra Bridger? So this is the part in Rebels where they're on that temple where Ezra goes blind. This is all a part of that thing. I don't know the answer to this question.
I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. What title did
Chris is chiming in. Chris says, watch Resistance again.
If it's like comic books, Chris, I don't think it's going to happen. But go to broaxium.com and get some
That's
toys.
Right. Go buy some Broaxium Outpost toys.
What title did Jedi Knight Iskat Akaris take upon joining the Imperial Inquisitorius? Really?
Right. I'm just impressed you said the name.
I don't know if I said it right, but I said it, and it's from reading the news. Like, I have to fake my way through it.
That's right. You have it printed out phonetically, so you know what you're supposed to say.
Exactly.
What is I think I do know this one. What is the name for the rotating arm that droids plug into a socket in a wall or console to interface with a local computer system? I think I know this, and I think I only know this because of The Mandalorian.
Okay. I guessed because I think the obvious one is not right. So, but that's just me. What is the real name of the species more frequently known as Palus massens? Really?
couldn't begin to tell you.
Okay. Which is the first
Straight
on my
guessing.
list. Okay.
What does the Twi'lek word Nera mean in Basic? No clue.
Just guessing.
Guess,
Who was the leader? Who was the leader of the rebel team? See, the funny thing is, if you didn't have multiple choices, you had to answer these questions on stage.
Oh, I'd just be making it. I just like throwing syllables and apostrophes into
I'd be like
answer boxes,
naming friends and family and giving them thumbs
exactly.
up. Who was the leader of the rebel team that robbed the Imperial garrison on Aldhani in BBY5? Who led it?
And see, I have watched Andor. I should know this one, but there's
I know I'm not getting it right.
Multiple candidates in here that I'm probably wrong about. Which large tentacled creature attacked Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano aboard the Takora in 20 BBY?
Okay.
I feel like there's two that I feel like I can eliminate, but there's two that's a toss-up.
Yep.
I'm going with that one. Okay.
What was the ultimate fate of the Tantive 4?
Ooh, this one hurts. I don't like any of these answers. What?
It was turned into a Lego set that I have now in my son's room. Yeah.
There's scrapped, destroyed, crashed, destroyed. None of these answers are ones that I want this to be. Yeah. All right, let me pick one. Hang on. It wasn't that, because it wasn't destroyed in the Battle of Exegol. We see it at the end of the movie. I'm all but certain about that. So I guess I'm going to pick this one. I don't know. And I haven't heard the story that's in. Which mercenary gang kidnapped Princess Leia Organa from Alderaan and transported her to Daiyu in 9 BBY?
Oh, who were those guys? Okay.
This was from the Kenobi show, right? This was those guys.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a name.
It's probably like
this one
briefly. Is Red Hot Chili Peppers one of the choices? Because
I was gonna say, is it Sock on My Junk? Is that what the band's called?
Okay, tell me when you're ready for the next one.
Go for it.
Okie dokie. Whoops, there we go. What kind of animal is Sorgan krill?
It's an animal that I don't know. Krill gives us, marine life. I recognize 3 of these terms as sort of marine life. Actually, maybe only 2 of them. All right, we're going with this one.
Who knows all this stuff? My goodness.
Somebody does. Somebody at Dragoncon that beat Alex Damon knows these things. Who was the primary target of CX2's assassination mission on Teth around 18 BBY? What? CX2. Wait, I know who CX2 is.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got it.
Okay. I'm taking a stab that feels like a good stab. All right. You're up.
Which Imperial TIE series strike craft is a heavy bomber designed to destroy large capital ships? Yeah, I'm just going with that.
Okay, good evening. Thanks for joining us. We're taking the Dragoncon trivia qualifying quiz, if you did not see that already, and we are clearly failing spectacularly.
Oh my God.
I
don't even know how many questions we're in.
Yeah, I have no idea where we are. It's 50 questions. We could be on number 12 or we could be on number 42. But I need to answer this tie question. Hang on. Let's go with this one. Sure, why not? What year was Anakin Skywalker born?
Oh, boy. I should know this. But
I think this is it. I think I actually do know this one. We're going to see what happens.
I'm going to go with that. Okay. I wonder if it tells you which ones you get right and wrong.
Last year it did. It gave you a list and they were in green or red.
Mine's going to be all red. All right. Which Grand Army of the Republic unit were ARC troopers, Havoc, Colt, and Blitz members of at the time of the Battle of Camino?
No clue. Nothing whatsoever. Which sentient species is native to Paradea? I think I know this one. This is who I think it is. I think these are isn't this the little turtle shell guys?
I'm not saying.
Okay, good. Okay, well, good luck with the next question then.
Yeah, but I have to read it. That's the problem. All these words. What position did Ruru hold in the Jedi Temple on Banki at the time of the Drengir crisis?
Oh yeah, the Drengir crisis. Right, I remember that.
Yes.
Sure. I'll pick this one.
I'm gonna go with that. Okay. What? Oh, your turn.
Yeah, this is me. What was the nickname of the arc pulse generator, the super weapon that Sabine Wren designed for the Empire while studying at the Imperial Academy? This was from Rebels. I remember this whole arc, but I don't. I mean, I'm gonna go with the obvious answer and see what happens.
Mr. Blinky?
Yeah. Spoiler alert. I don't think it was Mr. Blinky.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Which bipedal walkers did the Galactic Empire deploy on Ord Mantell when hunting Omega around 18 BBY?
There's too many bipedal walkers. There shouldn't be this many choices.
What happened to just Chicken Walker? And we're done.
Seriously. I'm gonna go with this one for fun. Which model of combination blaster / ascension gun was prominently used by the Naboo security forces during the Battle of Theed? Now, we do know this from the movie. They're on the ledge. They shoot those things up, and it's super cheesy where they all fly up at the exact same time.
Right.
But I don't know which one this is. So I'm going to pick...
I just took a guess.
This one. And I have a specific reason for picking this one. And I'm not going to sway your thing, and I don't think it ultimately matters because we're both dum-dums. But I don't think it's any of the ones with the word heavy in the title because Naboo was all about clean lines and fancy, but still works. So I'm picking one of the non-heavy ones.
Okie doke. Ooh. What is Admiral Akbar's son's name?
I know this one.
I actually think I got that one right. We're going to get the same exact score.
Exactly. Which member of the Imperial ruling council was not killed in the destruction of the second Death Star at the conclusion of the Battle of Endor? Demetrius Vidian, Sate Pestage, Kryn Blista Vani, Janice Grijatis. I don't know any of these names, and I think they're all made up by throwing a bunch of those alphabet magnets you had as a kid at a refrigerator and seeing which ones stick.
That's funny and probably true. All right. Which entity did Goom Sam represent in the Galactic Senate at the time of the Clone Wars?
Sure. No real reason to pick any of these because I don't know. Which ship of the Resistance fleet was Vice Admiral Emmeline Holdo's flagship before she took overall command of the Battle of Owechi? Now, I feel like this is a throwaway line in Last Jedi.
Yeah, I think so too. And I can't remember.
And I think I hear it in my head, which is why I picked this answer, but we'll see how that turns out.
Which clone marshal commander led the 21st Nova Corps and killed Ki-Adi-Mundi on Maigito at the end of the Clone Wars?
Girl, I got nothing for this. Let's pick a number I like. 1138. That's fun. Neo Gray Clutch. Literally, like, close my eyes, point to the screen.
I picked one that I thought I liked the name of. So it's like
what is
people pick football teams. They're like,
exactly. I like the mascot. That's fun.
Yeah.
Favorite colors. What is notable about the planet Naporar? As a shipyard capable of building Executor or Executor class dreadnoughts. It is where Agen Kolar, who I don't know who that is, went into hiding after Order 66. Headquarters of the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet. It was the original capital of the Sith Empire. I don't know. Let's pick.
I'm going with that one. I don't know.
This one for fun.
This is just pure. And people know this. That's the thing that I keep in mind as I look at this. People who have jobs and families
their
and things.
productive human lives are like,
Right.
how do you not know what this is? And I think I'm that guy in my everyday life, and people are like, what? How do you know that?
Yeah.
And then I remember, oh yeah, not me.
That's why when people come to me, they're like, oh, you must be great at Star Wars trivia. I'm like, nope, I'm not.
But here's the thing, and we've said this before, and this is what we did a couple weeks ago when we did trivia against each other. There's like pub trivia, and then there's like pub trivia. Let's go. Line me up against normies all day long, and I'll knock them down. But this, I might as well be the normie in the pub.
Which type of battle droid did General Grievous use as his personal bodyguards during the Clone Wars?
I think I know this one, and I think I know this one because of playing, what's that stupid game called? It's the one on mobile.
Oh, the
Galaxy of Heroes, that game?
Yeah.
How many official, i.e. not forbidden, forms of lightsaber combat are there?
I'm gonna just guess at that.
Pretty sure I know this, and I don't really know why, other than I have other friends who are super into lightsaber stuff.
Which ancient artifact did Dr. Cheli Lona Afra compete against Ronan Taggi to acquire shortly before the Battle of Hoth?
I don't know, but I'm glad to pick an answer. And before I read my next question, if you're just tuning in, one, God bless you. Welcome to this shit show. Pete and I are taking the Dragoncon trivia qualifying test, which is 50 questions. The link is in the chat. If you scroll way back up, you can find it. It's a Google form, 50 questions. This is what they had to take to qualify for the final trivia competition for Star Wars at Dragoncon last weekend. We're failing spectacularly, and we don't even know how far into the 50 questions we are.
We don't know how bad we're doing.
We've gotten, but it's bad news. I'm all but certain of. But that's what we're doing right now. We're working through these. At the end, we're going to see who got the most right. Pete's screen is shared right now. I will share mine for verification so that there's no cheating going on. And we do have a $20 double or nothing bet going on with our previous trivia contest night and our baseball bet that's running all season long. So if you just joined us for all of that, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
All right. It's you.
What did Nihil pirate Lorna D, which by the way, I feel like that's a name from Greece, name her stolen replacement flagship after her original flagship, the Lorna D, was destroyed at the Battle of Galov?
I feel like
there's only one answer I'm picking here, and I don't really care at this point if it's right or not.
I do like Tooth Spike better though.
Yeah,
which I might name my ship after if I ever get a YT Corellian cruiser. Which pear-shaped fruit did Anakin Skywalker take from Padme Amidala's plate using the Force during their attempt to seductively have dinner at Varakino in 22 BBY?
Okay. I know the names of two of these. One of them I don't think is it, and one of them I know is not it. So I have to pick from the other two.
I just guessed once again. So
no, that's fair. Which class of Star Destroyer was the primary capital ship of the Republic Navy during the Clone Wars? Vengeance, Vigilance, Victory, or Venator? Okay, sure. Maybe not.
Which one of Bib Fortuna's cousins was a member of Saw Gerrera's rebel cell shortly before the Battle of Scarif? Steve Fortuna. That's really funny. Okay, I think I got it.
All right. Which notorious Gendai, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Bounty hunter fought for the CIS during the Clone Wars? Ravis, Locust, Dirge, or Undro? I've heard the name Dirge before. I don't really know what that means. That's going to be a disappointment to Chris if he's still watching, because I feel like Dirge has come up on, what is that? Clone Force who? What? Scar who? Squad what? Okay.
Scar Squad what? Yes.
Yeah. Let me pick an answer here. Let's just pick this one for fun.
All right. Which Ewok was the chief of Bright Tree Village at the time of the Battle of Endor? Okay.
This may be an answer I get right simply because of the action figures. Why did Savage Opress kill Zomit Grunsight on Mustafar in 19 BBY? Because killing Jedi is Savage's whole thing. It's a great answer. To take over the Black Sun, because Grunsight spilled a drink on him, or to steal a freighter full of battle droids. I feel like Savage has big party foul punishment energy.
Yes. Okay. Who said to die for one's people is a great sacrifice, to live for one's people an even greater sacrifice, while negotiating with a Tal's chieftain during the Clone Wars?
Ooh, I think I actually know this one, which is going to be surprising if I do.
I'm going to guess.
Next up, what color was the lightsaber Anakin Skywalker carried during the Battle of Christophsis? Green, yellow, blue, or red?
What is the Battle of Christophsis? I'm gonna just guess.
Oh,
we're at the bottom.
Alert. There's only one more question left.
This is it. Who was the captain of the Radiant Seven during a final mission carrying Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi to Naboo? This question will remain on the test until at least 25% get it right. This is the 6th year.
Apparently, nobody knows the answer to this question.
I think I do, because I did my thing, my Star Wars-y book thing.
I gotcha. I'm just gonna pick one. All right, I picked one.
Okay.
Literally, that's a 25% guess. I'm hitting submit right now.
I'm gonna hit submit. Here we go.
Thanks for participating. We hope to see you at DragonCon. It says at DragonCon 2023.
25, baby.
Shut up.
25. What did you get?
All right, hold on. Time out. How do I do this?
Oh no. What did you get?
Here, hold on. I'm coming. Share screen. Is this the right one? Star Wars at DragonCon Trivia. I think this is it. Let's see what happens. Where did it go?
32? How did you get 32?
See that? I don't know. This is the weirdest. I'm the best guesser in the world. I need to go to Vegas. I need to go to Georgia for lottery tickets. Like,
no way.
30. What? What? Oh, look at this. Dan's in the chat. Where'd it go? Dan McCarty, 27. How about
nice
that?
Job.
Congratulations.
You better enter this next year, Nick, if you're going to be down there. And then you can embarrass yourself on stage when they ask you these questions without multiple choice.
I was going to say, let's see what happens if I do this in real life and I get like 7 of 50.
All right, let's see where the difference was. We'll 32. Just buzz through here. Okay, question one. Yep. We both got right?
Cortosis got it. I did not get the planet that was
I
the
did
home.
Not. Question 3,
it was Omega.
Yeah.
The answers are in here too. I said the occlusion. It was the storm wall.
I said Cloak of Ro because it sounded cool. I got the
witches right.
Oh, you did.
You did too. You got the witches.
No, you didn't.
No, you got the witches. Oh wait, that's my screen. Yeah, I'm sorry. Rebel Terracell. I did not get.
Nope.
I said Crimson Fist.
I said the Teth Resistance. I got this.
I got Axe Woves. That was from Mandalorian.
I got
EV99. I got that. I changed at the last minute. I said 8D8 and then I swapped it. Groundquake supplies. That was a straight guess.
Oh, see, so that was luck.
Yep. Iriadu.
I got that right.
Lucre Hulk. I got that wrong.
I got that wrong.
I got the Fireball right. That was Resistance. I didn't know that.
See, I said Corellia for R2 because I thought maybe.
I wanted it to be Corellia, and I didn't guess that, but I also was wrong. Darth Canis, that was 100% of a guess.
Yeah.
Jedi Knight, got that wrong. I said Ninth Sister.
Me too. Name for rotating arm.
Scomplink, that was Mando.
Bitch. Okay.
Because he said Scomp Jack.
I thought.
And it was kind of the joke about something in the Scomp Jack.
Okay, so that's one that you got right that I didn't get right.
Yes, I did know that one. Polis Massons didn't know that. I said the Verk.
Yeah.
Twi'lek word, Naramine, and basic brother. I had this was a guess. I had no reason to know why that would be that.
Did you get it right?
I did.
See, I thought
Yeah,
narrow
I said
sounded too
brother.
feminine as a word, so I didn't pick that.
Mhm.
I got the next one right.
Leader of the rebel team, Belsartha. I got that.
Okay.
Large tentacled creature. I guess Rathtar. That was not correct.
I
It
guess
was
Dianoga.
Blixus.
I was wrong.
So here's the thing with that one. To me, I thought Dianoga is in water, Sarlacc is in sand. It must not be those two. What's left, and then I picked of the other two. Tantive 4 was destroyed in the Battle of Exegol.
I got that one right.
I got that wrong.
I got that right because it couldn't have been recovered from the Empire because the Empire was gone. It couldn't have been turned into a museum ship and destroyed in Hosnian Prime because that was before the Battle of Exegol. And impounded by the Empire and eventually scrapped. Again, the Empire didn't matter.
And so I think for me, this was like my version of the Mandela effect. Like I feel like at the end, when everybody's coming back and celebrating, I see it land in the trees, but that was earlier in the movie at another point. Who Kidnapped Princess Leia? Black Mask. That was a guess because I didn't know, but I got it right.
Yeah, you guessed better than I do. Crustacean.
What is what animal is a Sorghum krill? I said cephalopod. It was a crustacean.
I got that right. Yay.
Primary target of CX2 was CX1. I did get that right.
I thought it was Omega. So
see, that's where I got hung up too. But there's some part of me that just said there's a connection 1 and 2. I don't know what it means. I got the TIE Fighter question wrong. I said the Brute. It was the Punisher.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker born. Did you get this one right?
No, I had 43.
I had 41, and I got that one right. ARC Troopers were.
I had a run Rancor. Here. I got like 4 right in a row here.
Yep. Rancor Battalion. I got that one right.
Yep.
Sentient species was the Noddy, whatever it is. I got that one right. I did not get this one right. I said Peacekeeper. It was Archivist.
I guessed that. The Duchess, I remember.
Nickname. Yep. That was, that kind of felt like an obvious answer for that one. This one, total guess. Bipedal walkers, ATAC. I got it right.
Another guess. Yep.
I said DC-17 hand blaster. It was the S5.
So did I.
Akbar's son was Aftab. I did know that one. That feel like it's shown up a bunch of times.
Yep.
I did not get the ruling council member. I said Janus Grijatis. It was Demetrius Vidian.
Yep.
Goom Sam, Techno Union. I just took a stab at that one. Got it.
Yeah. I did
Ship of the Resistance Fleet was the Ninka. I did remember that one. Like I said, that throwaway line of dialogue.
I said Starlight.
Clone Marshal Commando. I did not get this right. I said Clutch, and it was
I said Clutch too. I like the name. Yeah.
Yep. 1138. Notable about the planet Naparar. I went with Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet, and that was correct.
Me too.
Battle Droid IG-100. Got it. Yep. 7 forms of lightsaber combat. I knew that one.
Yep. I got that right with a guess. Yep.
Dr. Aphra, the Rings of Vale. I feel like I knew this subconsciously, but I don't really know how I knew that subconsciously, but I got it right. I feel like Lorna D naming another ship Lorna D it was too funny to not be real, so I picked it and I was right.
Yep.
It was the Fruit was not a Yogan. That was one that was used in Rebels, so I picked the Shura and that was correct.
Yep.
The Venator class Star Destroyer, I felt like that was a pretty confident answer.
That was kind of easy. Yep.
Beezer Fortuna, I also knew that one because in one of the Art of books,
I remember the picture.
And in this Rogue One Art of book, there was in a name or somewhere. Bounty Hunter, I didn't know this one. I said Undro, and it was actually Dirge that I made fun of.
Yeah, I got that right.
Chief Chirpa, that was the action figure. That was the only action figure Ewok that had the word Chief in it.
Yep.
I picked Groonseat Spilled a Drink, and though it was Takeover Black Sun. To Die with One's People, Rio Chuchi. I knew this one from the Clone Wars and that whole the Padme and that whole arc with the other senators.
Yep.
Anakin carried blue. That just felt natural because I feel like Anakin has always carried blue.
I thought he was using somebody else's or something. That was the kind of so.
And then the Obi-Wan Qui-Gon pilot Maui Madakor.
Yep, I got that right.
That's one that I feel like I've seen somewhere because of the whole. Because isn't this the ship that gets blown up at the beginning of the movie?
Yep. And if you read my novelization, she actually has more lines. So
I have read parts of your novelization, but it didn't stick, obviously. So I guess I have homework. Sorry, pal.
32. That's all right. God, that was awful.
32. I feel like I need to print this out and put it on the wall in my studio or something because
I just
that's
left
ridiculous.
Because I never want to see it again.
In fact, hold on. I'm gonna look right in the camera, smile, screenshot taken. We're gonna keep that for a while now.
All right. Well,
wow.
I think that wraps it up for this week's episode. That was really hard, and I never want to take it again, but I will next year, as I always do. And I think I get 25 every single time. But
hold on, let's not bury the lead here, Pete.
Yeah.
Let me have my slight moment of victory.
Yeah, now you got $40.
The Braves are down 8 games.
Yep.
Which is $16.
Yep.
Which means, and I'm not good at math, I live in Alabama. That means I'm up $28 at this exact moment. No, 24, wait. $24.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
You're not good at
math. Told you. Math. But there's still season left. I still believe. I read a great article that I started to send you the other day, and then I didn't because, Mojo and Voodoo and whatever.
Yeah.
The Braves have been killed by injuries this year, and it's not fair, but that's the way life goes.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, we will be back again next week. I think we may have Rick Shue from Friends at Work, which is a Star Wars and MCU podcast, joining us. He said I reached out to him, and he said he's definitely around next week, so hopefully he'll join us. And we got a couple of other things coming up over the next couple of weeks. And go to the podcast feed because the podcast is back. This past week we had Greg Grunberg. I forgot how great of an interview that was. Not that we did a great interview, but he's just an easy interview and a ton of fun. Friend of the show, great guy. And Nick, I guess that is it. May the force.
It is. Thanks to. Oh, sorry.
What?
I was just going to say thanks to everybody hanging out.
Yes.
Watching with us tonight, taking the trivia quiz, being in the chat. We love talking to each other about Star Wars, but we love it even more when y'all are here and you have things to say. So thank you for always being a part of our Thursday nights, being here, contributing to the conversation. That's what makes it even more fun than it already is.
Absolutely. Nick, may the force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.